Hello, my name is Abel Kinkela. I'm from Luanda, Angola. I'm a network engineer working in the telecom sector. And in 2025, I've decided to venture into poultry farming. So I'm raising chickens now as a side business. Last week, I visited a few farms in the city of Luanda, and the goal was to learn more from experienced farmers. And I really came out with valuable and relevant information that I could use for my own benefit and I could use for my own farm. And so those are the lessons that I want to share with you in this video. So stay with me as I walk through all of those issues. The first issue is on the construction. I was really amazed to realize that failure can start right from the beginning, as 60% of those farmers were falling short in terms of how they structured the orientation of the buildings, as they wrongly put the ventilation sides where the sun rises and where the sun sets. Direct sunlight can stress the chickens and cause discomfort, leading to a decrease in the number of eggs they may lay. So my advice is to give your chickens enough shading throughout the day, right? And make sure that the structure that you build is well oriented, right? Don't put the ventilation sides where the sun rises and where the sun sets. The next issue is on the choice of the wire mesh. A bigger size wire mesh will give you resistance. It is strong. It can resist against outside intruders, right? But a smaller size wire mesh, if you have, other places where security is taking place, it is better to choose small size wire mesh, because this one gives you some extra protection against slightly larger predators that may come in and want to eat your chickens. The next issue that I observed is on choosing or building the battery cage. Battery cages are very expensive. For instance, one that has the capacity of housing 100 chickens costs about $300 in Luanda. So you can imagine if you have a project of having like 1,000 birds, this is really, really expensive, right? And so if you can save costs by building your own battery cage, that's really great. But if it is wrongly built, then it's just not worth it, the efforts, because you're gonna lose a lot of money. Take the example of this farmer. The guy is losing many chickens because the battery cages were wrongly built. So be careful on that as well. Another point I want to discuss is the bedding. If you are raising them on the ground, make sure the bedding remains even throughout the life cycle of the chickens. And make also sure that it has at least 5 centimeters of depth to provide you with good absorbency of moisture from the droppings. And it also helps to regulate the temperature inside the chicken house. And really, wood shavings are really amazing in providing us with an environment that has low levels of bad smell. Very amazing, really. My next point or advice is that we should treat the chicken waste properly. I visited one farmer and the guy throws all the chicken waste right on the street. Can you imagine such a bad practice? Anyways, let's clean the chicken house properly and have good practices when it comes to the treatment of the waste. Another point that I really wanted to understand is on either going for day-old chickens or buying those that are at the pre-laying stage. And so what I've seen is that if you buy those chickens that are about to lay and put them in your farm, you have less control over their performance, right? The overall output won't be really under your control. Even if you give them enough feed, you treat them well, you have good biosecurity measures, and so on, you won't have control over that because you are not 100% sure of their age, the vaccination they had in the past, the feed they were given in the past, whether they were sick and they were treated after that before selling them to you. You have like zero control over that. So my advice is that unless you have a very good supply, one that you trust, who will provide you chickens that are about to start laying eggs and buy, You should grow your own chickens from day one to have a better control on the output. And the last point I want to share, which is really crucial, something that I noted, is that most of the farmers don't really observe biosecurity measures strictly. If you watch those videos where I visited those farms, you can see us just walking into their farms and interacting with their chickens. You know, that's simple, right? That's simple. It didn't really feel like they have any biosecurity measures. Even stepping, you know, those foot bath, no, nothing like that. There were no control over what you are doing in their farm, what you are interacting with. We just stepped in and interacted with their birds that way. So my advice to you is that you should have biosecurity measures in place, and they should be observed regardless of whether you have families coming in or maybe colleagues from your school coming in. Really just have biosecurity measures in place and don't risk it, right? Don't risk having infections coming from outside and going to where you're putting your money, right? And so yeah, thank you for watching up to this point, and I'll see you. Please support me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I have a goal actually to have at least 1,000 subscribers up to the end of this year. So subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.